y'all ain't on the bed yet? No, we ain't gone yet, we're going after 5. So, as the year moved on, a little later on, I began to wonder why. So they still not back there. Thought came to me where the Lord made a way for us that day. And they were wondering how we were going to make it the next day.
Yes.
But through it all, the Lord blessed us. We were never day hungry, and we had plenty of food to eat. And right today, I thank God for it.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Brother, Mr. Harris.
Yes, sir.
Will you share your some of your
I sure will. I get this memory. I don't know how quite old I was at the time, but I remember the majority of the roads were dirt. And my grandfather, he enjoyed civil rights, and he always would go to the meetings of the Negro churches when they was. Dr. King had a group that would go around to Negro churches and more or less give a report on the progress he was making in whatever part of the country he might be working in. And I'll never forget this. Okay, my grandpa asked me to go with him, which I was willing to go. Okay, we got ready and started on our journey. But we got to the road that we needed to go on. It was blocked. Barricades across it. That was back when they called NCDOT, was called the State Highway Commission. And grandfather pulled up closer, and it was white men out there. We imagined the State Highway Commission guys. So the guy came up to my grandfather's side when he was driving the window and said, well, y'all gonna have to go to this other road over here because the bridge is at. Okay? Grandfather just took it in and said, man, he backed up. He said, grandson, what are we gonna do? He's just gonna go back home. And as we were driving back home, he said, grandson, it's not a bridge on that road. But back then when the Klan got wind of the civil rights movement, people of black church, they would do things like that, block the roads off and send you to an ambush. But I went to several meetings at various black churches that we did attend. It was wonderful to see the people that represented Dr. King with tell about his progress and then pick up a little collection. You know, we didn't have that much money, just a few pennies, maybe a dime or quarter, but everybody there would give something to help Dr. King work. And to move up to morning time, like the lady over there, I worked for the state of North Carolina over 35 years. So I know a little bit about this, but when this happened, when it came time for North Carolina to give Dr. King a holiday, they stalled for many a time, and when they really didn't ever give him a holiday. As you remember, they took one of the days we had for Easter. We have 2 days for Easter. They took one of those days to use for Dr. King's culture. I still feel like the state shortchanged Dr. King on that because he's instrumental, not just the black race, but all races in getting America where it is now. And that's why, that's one reason I wrote my book, because I imagine everybody here know a little something about it. It's to the point now, going into the printing phase. And before we leave, I'm going to let everybody see the cover, front and back covers, because there's so many stories here and so many stories out there that's untold. A lot of people going on home before they could tell that story. But and I think my book will help bring that whole lot more stories, because people gonna wanna share what they know about it, because it's still gotta be a better outcome than it has been over the years for our people. It don't make no sense, all the struggles that we have to go through, and still to a certain extent. But God has blessed us and brought us this far, and like I said, been blessed to meet you and be able to share my book with you, all your friends and followers. I really appreciate just being here and meeting people, talking to people, and hearing their stories. But I love going to D.F. First and Albany. That was my school. But when they moved over to the high school, it was never the same. It was never the same because, like I said, it was just two of us there, and we being separated. It was a nightmare that's still there in some of my dreams now. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna come back to you and let you share a little bit about that when you went over there to the high school. Mr. Melvin Reed, if you don't mind, would you share some of your memories? I know you were born in South Carolina, but I know you had some history there too.
Yeah, yes, I did. I was born in South Carolina, and but I lived all my adult life here in North Carolina after I got out of school. But I remember so many days that the last year of my high school that we went in integrated, and it was the worst year of my life in school. Because me and I played football in college, and me and two of my friends, we went to this store. And we store had a lot of chefs in the store, there was nobody in there but the guy who ran it. His name was Dottie. He was a young boy. And when we got in there, people were coming up from all up around the shelf and everything, and we knew that he was in trouble. So what we did, we got over there with the canned goods and sodas and everything. And y'all should have seen it. It was a bloody mess. And we thought we was gonna lose our life in that night. I mean, with them canned goods and sodas and everything that we could get our hands on. So one of our friends, he was older. Matter of fact, he hadn't finished high school, but he was raised up and all with us. His name was Will. And he heard about it. And all at once, we heard something, I bet you it was 15 or 20 of us. We hear people with the hollering and blood with the going. He had a bowl about that long and had nails sticked out of it about that full. And every time one of them run to come out the front door, he was hitting them every way he could. So finally, I mean, just went on for a while before the police got there. And when the police got there, we come on out the building, and I bet you it was 12 or 15 of them laying in the ground, breathing like, oh. And I said, Lord, have mercy. And the police would say, well, the whole front glass of his store, we busted out. Because we were trying to get out the store, save our life. You know, a lot of people have never been in a situation with a life and death thing with racial. But racial, in the 50s and 60s, when I came up in South Carolina, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, every restaurant you go to, you couldn't go in the front of the restaurant. They had a back door. It said color on the door. You could not, and if you go in the kitchen, if you look in the kitchen, guess who was doing all the cooking? That's exactly right. Our people was doing all the cooking in the restaurant, and we couldn't go in the front door. And a lot of them, didn't even have a front door. You had a sliding window. They hand you your order, and they hand you your food out the window. But my grandfather was from Georgia, and his home was in Georgia. And my father